반갑습니다. I wasn't going to say anything about this story. I wasn't going to comment on it, but a few of you tipped me off on it. I had already heard about the story. It came out about a week ago, and I just want to say a few things about it. It's about a story about this young Brazilian kid. I say kid, but he's uh, in his mid-20s, maybe 25 years old, depending on the report, in Brazil, who had multiple plastic surgery procedures on his eyes so that he could look more Asian. Depending on the story, it might say that he wanted to look more Korean. And he goes by the name, his alias is Xiahn Nishi, which is kind of like a weird conglomerate of different names. I mean, that Xi'an sounds Chinese to me, and Nishi sounds like a pretty standard Japanese name. And then everyone's saying that he wants to look like a Korean pop star. And it's really crazy. Basically what it was, he has a story, there's a video of him, the kid actually speaking about what he had done and why he had it done and all that kind of stuff. And he was saying that he liked when he would have pictures of himself, and depending on the angle of the picture, when he would look at his eyes and they looked a little bit smaller, like Asian eyes. And he seemed to like that image. And I think he lived, or at least traveled a lot to Korea. And he really became attached to the whole K-pop lifestyle, or not lifestyle, but the K-pop image and that whole thing. And he decided, hey, I'm just going to have, I want to look like these K-pop stars, or Asian, or Korean. And he was commenting that there's no procedure that really exists. It's not like if you go into a plastic surgery clinic and they give you the menu and you check off, I'd like one order of, nose reduction and one order of, a jawline reduction or something like that. There's no make my eyes look Asian on the checklist. So basically, the doctor that he went to said, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put acid on your eyelids, and it's going to help to fuse them together to make it look like a monolid. Now, depending on who you are, if you follow Asians or Asian culture, you'll know that many Asian people, I've commented on this before, they have these double eyelid surgery where they put an incision in the eyelid to give the appearance of a double eyelid for whatever reason, whether it's for medical reasons that some people claim, or if it's just to look more westernized, which is the common reason that people give. So he said, let's do the reverse of that. And he went through maybe 10 or a dozen procedures to have this done. Now he just looks really different, and it's kind of, I'm going to say unfortunate, because before he was an attractive young kid. I mean, why anybody that age would want to have plastic surgery to begin with is beyond me. But here's a kid who was a perfectly normal looking young guy, and he wanted to have this drastic change done to his face, to his eyes. So during his interview, he gave this explanation, which was, hey, look, a lot of people wear makeup to make themselves look a different look, depending on what they're trying to achieve. Usually women, like they might want to look like a pop star, they may want to look like, a Kardashian, or grunge, or emo, whatever it is that you're trying to look like, and you can alter your makeup and look that way, look more that way. And he said, listen, if you're one of those people that is wearing makeup, then you can't really say anything to somebody who wants to have plastic surgery. So that was his justification. That's his reasoning in his mind why it was okay. Some people will say it's okay because it's his body anyway. Fine. But to compare going under the knife, or to have acid applied to your eyelids to achieve a permanent change in your face, to compare that to putting on makeup and eyeliner or eyeshadow and all those types of things to have a different look for whatever you're doing that evening, is a little bit out of this world. So my first question is, and maybe you can help me with this, why would somebody want to do that to themselves? Like I said, I've commented on it before. I've heard your comments. That's a drastic thing, And I'm going to say something here some people may or may not like. That's okay, because it is my channel. And I'm going to say the same thing that I've said to my students here in Korea, because in Korea, I was in a girls' middle school, and one of the things that I saw was a lot of these girls already in middle school looking into and having eyelid surgery done. So I did a few lessons here and there that was like pointing out some of the horrendous examples of plastic surgery that people have had in Hollywood. And my main message was be thankful for what you look like. Don't have plastic surgery. So I'm going to say it here too. We all have things about ourselves that we don't like, and it's usually because we're reflecting it based on society and based on what we think is beautiful or attractive, or the studs or the beauty queens or whatnot. And that's a trap that everybody falls into. So I would be careful of that. I hope that this young guy in Brazil is happy with his results, and I hope that 15 or 20 years from now, when he's my age, I hope the results still look the same, and I hope that he doesn't have any issues with them medically, but also just with the appearance. I hope it was worth it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. Look forward to hearing your comments. Peace.